told your friend you're not okay? And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way.
If after all this time we still believe in Taekook, it's not because we're stubborn, not because we refuse to see reality. It's because we see too much truth that can't be ignored. We're not blinded by illusions. We're illuminated by glimpses of reality that no script, fan service, or public manipulation could ever create. It's not just about moments captured on camera, not just about covering up or hugging, but about something much deeper. About how two souls find each other in a world that too often tries to tear them apart. We talk about how they challenge norms and boundaries, about how, despite the incredible limitations and pressures they face, they still manage to convey feelings. Sometimes through a fleeting touch, sometimes through lyrics sung with one-eyed stares, sometimes just through their presence, but it always feels real. We see them not just as two people, but as two poles that are always drawn to each other, no matter how far the world tries to push them away. Remember the Busan concert? Behind the grand stage and the blinding lights, there was a flash of time that was so small but so meaningful. The camera caught it, not in high quality, not in perfect focus, but enough to see Jungkook's silhouette pressed against Taehyung's, hugging him from behind, so tightly, so naturally. It wasn't a hug for show, not part of a choreography. It was body language that spoke without words, that said, "I'm here. Always." And more than that, it was pure happiness that couldn't be faked. Jungkook didn't realize the camera was rolling, because in that moment, it was just the two of them in the world. And how could we forget the moment when Jungkook, with a confident smile, stood before the world and sang, "So what," while looking at Taehyung? It wasn't just part of a song. It was a statement. It was an admission. It was a defense of something he knew not everyone would understand. But he didn't care. Because all he cared about was one thing. His happiness, and who made him feel whole. Out of all the members, he chose Taehyung. It wasn't a coincidence. It was a silent, yet loud declaration. Over the years, Jungkook has been consistent. Never tired of praising Taehyung, even when there was no reason to do so. He doesn't wait for Taehyung to be perfect. He already sees Taehyung as something more than just perfect. Like 3D, he says, not as a joke, but as an expression of sincerity, as if the world isn't enough to describe how real he feels. And look at his eyes whenever he talks about Taehyung. Full of admiration, full of pride, full of love. Taehyung, to Jungkook, is his burden. The one who always makes him step out of his comfort zone. The one who always manages to make him laugh even when the day is tough. We don't need a secret recording to know that. We see it in the way they talk to each other, in the unfeigned comfort, in the silent language that only the two of them understand. And then there's Bam, the little dog who raised Jungkook with love. But how did Taehyung get to be photographed with Bam in Jungkook's private home? This isn't a trivial matter. It's about access, about trust, about a place that isn't for everyone. Only someone who means a lot to you can be present in the most private space of your life. And Taehyung is there. They are not only present on the same stage, but in the same house, in the same life. In the midst of their own busy lives, when all the members are drowning in their own schedules, Jungkook still makes time to be with Taehyung. They travel together, cook together, laugh in spaces that are not covered by cameras, and even, in a moment I will never forget, Jungkook takes a 9 a.m. flight to Hawaii, just to be with Taehyung. Who does that? If not for someone you love. Their relationship is not a secret, but it is not something to be flaunted either. They do not feel the need to explain everything, because they do not need validation from outside. We can choose not to believe, but we cannot deny all the traces they leave behind. Because true love is not always obvious, but it is always felt. And Taekook feels it. Too deep, too real, too hard to ignore. I will continue to believe in them, not because I am blind, but because I see more than logic alone can explain. I believe in the way they choose each other again and again, in a world full of limitations and pressures. I believe in love that is not fake, in a relationship that grows silently, but is as strong as the roots of an old tree. I believe because every time I see them together I feel that this is real love. And if loving someone means supporting them unconditionally, then I will continue to support Taekook, as long as they still choose each other. Because real love, like theirs, can never really be hidden.